BioShock is my favorite video game franchise. Everything from the dynamic player progression to the interesting characters and unbelievably cool settings you get to explore. The gameplay loop is rarely interrupted with cutscenes, yet the stories told are some of the most compelling in the medium. Sadly, there hasn't really been much to talk about when it comes to BioShock. The last major entry was BioShock Infinite over a decade ago in 2013, and since then it has been confirmed by 2K that there will be a BioShock 4 and a BioShock movie on Netflix, and there have been a plethora of leaks to coincide with both of those projects, but those rumors aren't official words. We haven't had an official trailer or release date for either of these projects. I haven't had tons to say about BioShock on my channel because there hasn't been anything new to discuss, but thankfully it seems that that is about to change. The word going around the industry is that 2K is gearing up for a new huge BioShock announcement this summer. The only other detail that is circulating right now is that the city of Rapture will play a large role in this new project. For those who haven't played the games, Rapture is an underwater city that was built in the mid-1900s. It's an incredible setting for a game. This summer also makes a lot more sense to announce a new BioShock than you might imagine. Ken Levine used to be the guy behind BioShock. He was the director behind the first game and Infinite, as well as its DLC. He stepped away to work on a new game called Judas, which I'm also very excited for. It's a game that has procedural storytelling. In other words, you, the player, are invited to help create the story as the main character. The choices you make in gameplay will be reflected in choices that other characters make. At the same point, Judas does have a lot of similarities to BioShock, and it was supposed to release allegedly in March of this year. We still have no clue when Judas is going to release, and so if Ken Levine has internally pushed the game back a year or two, how long should 2K really be expected to hold off on announcing a new BioShock if it's in the pipeline as well? While it would have been totally ideal for Judas to release in March and then have a BioShock get announced 3 or 4 months later, that simply doesn't seem to be what's happening, and I don't think they should hold off on announcing BioShock, because knowing Ken Levine, who knows when his next game is going to be done. But today I want to go through what I think the next BioShock announcement could be. I think there are 3 possibilities. I'm going to go through each of them. As I do, let me know in the comments below what you would like to see next from the BioShock series. Also, since this is my first time talking about BioShock in a very long time, I'm sure that the algorithm is going to try to hide my video and it's not going to get much traffic, so please consider leaving a like and subscribe for more content like this if you enjoy the video. The first potential announcement that we could see this summer for BioShock is BioShock 4. A new studio called Cloud Chamber is working on BioShock 4. It has been confirmed by 2K themselves that this is the case. BioShock 4 has been leaked for a very long time. I remember Jason Schreier, a very reliable leaker, back in like 2017 talking about Project Parkside, which was secretly BioShock 4 in development. The game has been internally rebooted a number of times, there's been tons of internal restructuring, and so the game has just been this very long development cycle, and it seems like the trajectory and vision of the game has switched multiple times as well. At one point, there was a big rumor that Elizabeth was going to return in BioShock 4 and that Big Daddies would return as an enemy type. There's been a rumor for a long time that the game will take place in Antarctica. It'll be inverted cities, so there will be a city on the ground and a city hanging upside down over it. There has also been a rumor, based on job postings, that BioShock 4 could be an open-world multiplayer live service game, and I really hope they decide to change the direction of BioShock 4 because none of those sound like an authentic BioShock experience to me. We've already seen far too many examples of renowned single-player story-driven studios trying to reimagine their franchises as multiplayer live service looter shooters. My plea for BioShock 4 is that it be a faithful BioShock successor. I don't want a new gameplay loop that feels nothing like BioShock just with the BioShock logo slapped on it. Don't throw away everything that the series was beloved for just because you think you'll hit a higher profit margin. Because if the past has taught us anything, it's that that doesn't work. Usually when you try to do that, the game is a flop. I know that some people have already written off the idea of BioShock 4 being good because Ken Levine isn't involved, but personally, I don't think Ken Levine is the only person that could potentially tell a good BioShock story. I love the formula of the narratives and the gameplay and would like to see it explored further. When we finally get our hands on BioShock 4, I want it to be considered a great continuation, a long overdue sequel that knocked it out of the park, not another Suicide Squad situation where everyone's just like, what did you do to your franchise? Now, like I mentioned earlier, the big rumor is that BioShock 4 is going to take place in a new city, and to an extent it could be a soft reboot of the franchise, and so that does make me wonder, will BioShock 4 include a lot of the city of Rapture? Will some of the story take place in Rapture? Will you be jumping between a new city and Rapture, or is BioShock 4 not what's getting announced? While it's possible that BioShock 4 was internally rebooted and now is a Rapture-focused story, I almost think it's more likely that we're going to be getting a BioShock remake. This is something we're seeing a lot more of in the gaming space. We've seen it with Silent Hill 2, some of the Resident Evil games, The Last of Us, we're seeing it with Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time next year, and with BioShock still being a fan favorite, a classic despite nearing its 20th anniversary, it's a great candidate for 2K to prioritize making a remake for. I know that some people don't like when I talk about remakes, they really hate the idea of a game they love getting a new iteration, and I can understand that there's this level of reverence they have for the original game that they don't want to see messed up, but personally, I do think BioShock has aged. It still holds up quite well for a game from 2007, but that doesn't change the fact that it's a game from 2007. To see Rapture and the story of the first game reimagined in Unreal Engine 5 with 4K textures, 60 frames per second, ray tracing, incredible next-generation lighting would be a dream come true for me. We could see some of the areas where the original game was rough around the edges cleaned up a little bit. The gameplay could be improved somewhat. We could see reimagined boss fights. When there is the occasional cutscene, we could see far higher quality cutscenes. The original BioShock is an iconic game, and to see it get a second wind through a remake would be awesome. I've loved the results of games like Silent Hill 2, the remake, and Resident Evil 2. I think they've added a lot to the experience and made it feel more modern, and I'd like to see the same done to BioShock. Additionally, you mitigate the risks that a fourth entry would impose. For example, people would probably be conflicted about the new setting and the story that's being told and the new features, but if you go back to the well and take a game like the original BioShock that you know people like, you have pretty much an automatic success. Especially after the System Shock remake was a critical and financial success, BioShock seems like a next logical step to do a remake for. A BioShock remake would almost undoubtedly be an automatic success, and it would reinvigorate passion and excitement into the fan base. It would get people's attention on BioShock again prior to the Netflix film and BioShock 4. Speaking of the Netflix film, that is the third potential announcement we could be seeing this summer for the BioShock franchise. We could see an update, maybe we'll see casting information, or a release date. Maybe they have a trailer, I doubt it, because I don't think the film is even in production yet, but who knows, maybe they've secretly been filming it. Personally, I hesitate to believe that the Netflix film is what 2K is preparing to do an announcement for, because I feel like that ball is more in Netflix's court. It's a Netflix film, and so Netflix would probably be the company to drop information about it. On a personal note, I'm really kind of also hoping that this Netflix film doesn't ever actually end up seeing the light of day. I'm getting really concerned as the film seemingly continues to get budget cuts and everyone involved is saying, yeah, it's going to be a smaller scale film, which doesn't make sense for the BioShock IP. It would be like telling James Cameron that Avatar 4 has to be a low budget, small scale film. It's just not what the franchise calls for. It all kind of reminds me of when the Assassin's Creed movie was coming out and the trailers looked pretty good, but then you listened to the interviews with the director and producers and realized, oh, we're in trouble. You'd have the director in an interview and they'd ask, like, what's your favorite Assassin's Creed game? Do you have a favorite assassin from the games? And you'd be like, I don't know, I've never played the games. I barely have a clue what this is. The people at Ubisoft just told me it's about genetic memory, and I thought that sounded cool. And it leaves all of us just like, well, then why are you making the movie? If you don't know what it's about or don't really care, why are you the one adapting it to the screen? And I kind of feel like BioShock is in a similar space with Netflix. Personally, I kind of hope Netflix just drops the project and in 5 to 10 years we get a new production company that's far more passionate about the source material and wants to bring it to life on IMAX. I'd way rather go see this movie in the theaters than watch it with a Netflix subscription. I say this, by the way, as somebody who has been begging for a BioShock film for like over a decade. I think BioShock has all the ingredients to be an iconic film franchise just as it is an iconic game franchise, but I hesitate to believe that Netflix would do it right. We deserve deserve to see a film that pushes the boundaries of filmmaking, not something that's filmed in someone's garage in front of a green screen. But I digress. To put it bluntly, I don't think we're gonna see any kind of announcement for the BioShock film, though I could be wrong. That's just not what I think is most likely. I think it's possible we're gonna see BioShock 4, but honestly, maybe surprisingly, I think a remake of the first game is what we are probably going to see. Obviously, I hope that we get it earlier in the summer rather than later in the summer, hopefully at Summer Games Fest or like a June State of Play or something rather than some events in August, but if we get anything this summer for BioShock, I'll be very excited. This is a franchise that has been long overdue for a new entry. Like I said at the beginning, it's my favorite video game franchise. It's a big part of what made me want to become a storyteller. It's part of what planted that seed that has allowed me to become a filmmaker where I'm making a living in the industry. So hopefully the rumors are true, and this is the summer that my patience will finally be rewarded. Thank you all so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and let me know in the comments below what you would like to see next from BioShock. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.